And I guess it rolls back to the previous question of is this trip to the moon like the final countdown? Or could there be, more arcs after this? Um, which I think it's so tough. It's a big question we've been wrestling with the entire campaign, really. Like, will this happen? Like, will Predathos be released and get the gods? And is that wiping the slate clean or setting up for like a new era? And that's both like meta and in game. Which I think I actually think it would be kind of really cool if Predathos does get out. Because one of the things we talked about at some point in one of these episodes was I guess it was Avantravir maybe who was talking about this, saying that like what happens if he gets out is like the light of the gods
Hmm.
like rushes away and Predathos rushes after them.
Hmm.
So again, not that that is what would happen, but if that did happen, that he gets out, the gods run away because they're terrified and he chases them. That's a really cool setting, I think, because that doesn't mean all the gods are going to die, but it kind of means we're on our own for at least a bit. Some gods might come back, like who knows what could happen, but we now know that there are at least one party on Exandria, which that means there's definitely more, meaning the Unseelie Court that is like primed and ready to take advantage of that situation. So how
Hmm.
many other groups are similarly primed and ready to take advantage of that situation? So I could see like a really cool like storyline being Predathos is out, but like he left, so we're like we don't have to deal with that right now. What we have to deal with right now is Suramar or whatever his name was. And that
Seminar.
Suramar is from
Yeah.
Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
Oh, it's from
Staminar.
WoW. It's from World of Warcraft. Suramar is the elf.
Isn't it also from Might and Magic? There's like a blue hero.
Yeah, there is.
Maybe it's not
I
Suramar
don't
though.
know.
It probably is from WoW, or it is
Um,
from WoW.
yeah, from Legion. But yeah, Seminar.
There we go. Yeah. So like, I think that could be again. Probably won't happen that way, but if it did, then I could see one that's some really cool plot lines that could come up, and it kind of paves the way for like Bell's Hell's not fighting a god eater right now, which how are they going to do that anyway? But then there could maybe be some space for like some of these other power ups as we're navigating like
Hmm.
the godless vacuum of Exandria. Um, that was a big ramble, so I don't
Yeah, I think the
wrap it up
story.
there.
I think the story ends with Ludinus and not Predathos. Whether Predathos gets freed or not, I feel like the story ends with Ludinus. Like he has been the central villain. He's an incredibly compelling villain. Um, it's a villain that's interesting when you think about it being the villain in the sense of, centuries old wizard of like incredible strength. It's crazy to kind of process it. And I like what you're saying. I mean, you think about campaign settings and what better campaign setting than, the typical, the gods have fled, it's just us. There's all these forces that are vying for power. I mean, that creates
Yeah,
a lot of really interesting storylines. And frankly, when we think about long term for Critical Role, I think Travis has said they kind of want to have the MCU version for CR.
hmm,
When you think about all the potential one shots and it just really opens up the canvas, I guess,
yeah,
just to kind of see like what story do we want to tell and think about a storyline of like the gods have fled, but there's one god who is hiding on Exandria and, has been humbled or, is, I don't know, like I think of like Togepi from Pokemon. Like they have to protect this, entity, this shard of a god or something. I don't
yeah,
know, but I mean, there's just a lot of interesting
yeah.
storylines I think around it.
And I do agree that Ludinus is the baddie.
Hmm.
So maybe that if that happens, maybe it would be setting the stage for campaign 4. Like that would be the
Right.
set dressing for campaign 4 to step into, and not necessarily to be addressed here.